Have you ever noticed how we begin each day? It's quite extraordinary, really. The world insists that mornings are for routines, alarms, blaring, coffee brewing, news scrolling, all before we've even had a chance to realize we're alive again. It's as if we're afraid to acknowledge the miracle that happened. We woke up. We crossed that mysterious bridge from unconsciousness back into this peculiar dream we call waking life. But what if the morning held messages, invitations, really that we consistently overlook? What if the very break of dawn contains wisdom that could transform not just our day, but our entire understanding of existence? I want to share with you 5 messages that arrive with each morning, light messages so profound that once truly heard, they cannot be ignored. The first message is simply this: asterisk. You have been given another day, asterisk. Now, that sounds terribly obvious, doesn't it? But we treat this astonishing gift as the most mundane occurrence imaginable. Consider what has actually happened. Out of infinite possibility, you have emerged once again into consciousness. The universe has conspired to reassemble you, atom by atom, thought by thought, breath by breath. This is not ordinary, it is extraordinary beyond measure. When you awaken, you're participating in the same mysterious process that ignites stars and spins galaxies. The same energy that courses through every living thing courses through you. But we say, oh, it's just Tuesday. Just Tuesday. As if a day of conscious existence were as commonplace as a paperclip or a thumbtack. What would happen if you greeted each morning not as a burden to bear, but as an astonishment? What if your first thought wasn't, I have to go to work, but rather, I get to experience existence again? You see, the difference between have to and get to is the difference between sleepwalking through life and being awake to its wonder. The second morning message whispers to us daily, yet we rarely listen. Asterisk. Nothing is permanent, including your troubles, asterisk. We wake with yesterday's problems clutched tightly in our minds, don't we? We resurrect old anxieties before our feet even touch the floor. But look closely at those troubles in the fresh light of morning. Are they not already slightly different than they were yesterday? Haven't they shifted, even imperceptibly? You see, we live as though our problems are solid, immovable mountains. But they're actually more like clouds, constantly changing shape, density, and position. What appeared as an insurmountable difficulty in yesterday's sunset may reveal an unexpected opening in today's sunrise. The very impermanence that makes life sometimes painful is the same impermanence that ensures no difficulty lasts forever. I once watched a morning mist hanging over a valley. From my position on the hillside, it looked completely solid, as if I could walk across it. But of course, had I stepped into it, I would have found nothing substantial enough to support me. It was simply water suspended in air, appearing solid only from a distance. Aren't our problems often like this? Seemingly solid when viewed from afar, but surprisingly insubstantial when we step directly into them with awareness. So the morning light tells us, whatever troubled you yesterday is not precisely the same thing that exists today. It has already transformed, as have you. This is not positive thinking, it's simply the nature of reality. Nothing remains unchanged, including our difficulties. The third message that greets us with the dawn is perhaps the most challenging to accept. Asterisk. This day is already perfect. Asterisk. Now, wait before you dismiss this as some sort of cosmic joke. Consider what I mean. I'm not suggesting that everything in your day will unfold according to your preferences. Far from it. What I'm pointing toward is the perfection that exists prior to your judgments about what should or shouldn't be. Look at a morning sunrise. Is it trying to be anything other than what it is? Is the light apologizing for not being brighter, or the colors for not being more vibrant? Of course not. The morning unfolds exactly as it must, according to countless factors beyond any single control. There's a profound release in recognizing this same principle applies to your day. When we wake up already clutching expectations about how life should be, we're setting ourselves up for an exhausting battle. It's like trying to straighten out all the crooked rivers of the world. You might make some progress here and there, but at what cost? And to what end? Instead, what if you approach the day the way a sailor approaches the wind? You can't control its direction, but you can adjust your sails. You work with what is given rather than exhausting yourself fighting against reality. This doesn't mean passive resignation, quite the opposite. It means bringing your full creativity to respond to life as it actually is, not as you insist it should be. The morning tells us this day will unfold according to patterns far beyond your comprehension or control. Your freedom lies not in controlling these patterns, but in how you dance with them. And that is a perfect freedom, available in every moment. The fourth message comes not in words, but in the silence that exists between your thoughts when you first awaken. Asterisk. You are not your thoughts, asterisk. In those first moments of consciousness, before the mind fully engages its chatter, there is a brief space where you experience being without thinking. Did you notice it this morning? Probably not. It's elusive, like trying to see your own eyes without a mirror. But in that gap, that momentary silence before thinking resumes, lies a profound truth. You exist prior to thought. Thought comes to you. It isn't you. This distinction may seem academic until you realize its implications. If you are not your thoughts, then you needn't be tyrannized by them. The worries, plans, regrets, and fantasies that flood your mind are like weather passing through the sky of consciousness. The sky itself remains unchanged. Most of us wake up and immediately become lost in our thinking. We confuse the voice in our head with who we are. It's as if we're watching a movie and have forgotten that we're the screen, not the images projected upon it. The thoughts about yesterday's mistakes and today's obligations seem so compelling, so personal, that we completely identify with them. I am worried, we say, rather than worry is appearing in my awareness. The morning silence reminds us, before you are a person with problems to solve, you are awareness itself. This awareness, this consciousness, is what you fundamentally are, and it remains untouched by the content of your thoughts, just as a mirror remains untouched by the images it reflects. The fifth and final message of morning is perhaps the most subtle, yet it underlies all the others. Asterisk. You belong here, asterisk. Not because you've earned your place, not because you're especially good or worthy, but simply because you exist. The same process that grows forests and moves oceans has grown you. You are as natural, as integral to this world as any star in the night sky. We live in a culture that constantly tells us we must justify our existence through achievement, through productivity, through conforming to certain standards. But the morning makes no such demands. The sun doesn't rise only for those who deserve it. The air doesn't withhold itself from those who haven't earned the right to breathe. These gifts come to all, freely and without condition. And so it is with your right to be here. You need no justification beyond the miraculous fact of your existence. You belong to this universe not as a foreigner who must constantly prove their worth, but as an expression of the universe itself. Just as a wave belongs to the ocean by virtue of being water, you belong to existence by virtue of being. The morning light falling on your face is not judging whether you deserve its warmth, it simply gives it. This is the nature of reality when we strip away our human judgments and categories. It simply is. And so are you, and there's a profound rightness in this recognition. So there they are, 5 messages that greet us each morning, 5 invitations to a deeper, more awakened life. You have been given another day. Nothing is permanent, including your troubles. This day is already perfect. You are not your thoughts. You belong here. Simple, aren't they? Almost embarrassingly so. Yet how differently might we live if we truly heard them, if we allowed them to penetrate not just our intellects, but our very way of being in the world. I'm not suggesting you need to sit in formal meditation each morning, contemplating these ideas. That would simply turn them into another task on your to-do list, another should to burden yourself with. Rather, I'm inviting you to simply notice what's already happening. The miracle of waking, the fresh potential in impermanence, the perfection that precedes judgment, the awareness behind thought, and the unconditional belonging that is your birthright. The philosopher Martin Heidegger spoke of forgetting being, how we become so absorbed in the particularities of existence that we lose sight of the wonder of existence itself. Our mornings often exemplify this forgetting. We wake into being, into the sheer astonishment of conscious existence, only to immediately lose ourselves in the details of what needs to be done. But what if we remembered? What if, just for a moment each morning, we paused to receive these 5 messages? Not as concepts to think about, but as realities to notice. How might this change not just our mornings, but our entire lives? I suspect we would find ourselves living with greater ease, greater joy, and greater authenticity. Not because our external circumstances would necessarily change, but because our relationship to those circumstances would transform. We would no longer be quite so entangled in the drama of me versus the world. We would recognize ourselves as expressions of the world itself, arising and passing away like waves on the ocean of existence. And in this recognition, there is immense freedom. Not the freedom to get whatever we want, but the freedom to want what we already have. Not the freedom from difficulty, but the freedom to meet difficulty with grace and wisdom. Not the freedom of control, but the freedom of surrender to what is. This is the invitation that greets us each morning. It doesn't demand that we become different people or achieve spiritual perfection. It simply asks that we notice what's already true, what's already here, what's already given freely to all. So tomorrow morning, when you first open your eyes, before reaching for your phone or jumping into your routine, pause for just a moment. Feel the miracle of consciousness returning after the mystery of sleep. Notice the thoughts arising and the awareness in which they appear. Sense your belonging to this world, not as a stranger, but as an intrinsic expression of life itself. In that simple act of noticing, you may find that these 5 messages are not just nice ideas, but the very foundation of a life lived in harmony with reality. And isn't that, after all, what we're all seeking in our various ways? Not to escape reality, but to be fully present within it, fully aligned with its nature, fully awake to its wonder. If you've enjoyed these reflections, I invite you to subscribe to this channel for more explorations of consciousness and reality. Give this video a like if it resonated with you, and leave a comment sharing which morning message spoke most deeply to you. What do you notice in those first moments of waking? There's wisdom in your experience too, and I'd love to hear about it.